You are listening to the Gate 7 International Podcast, a podcast connecting Olympiacos fans from Melbourne to Baltimore, from London to Piraeus. We are 4 Olympiacos fans from every corner of the world, bringing you news and interviews of the team you love in English. With new episodes twice a week, you'll never lose the latest updates and stories of the team you love. This is our team, our city, and our land. Man Aoniro Trello. You're listening to the Gate 7 International Podcast.
Welcome to the Gate 7 International Podcast. It's 12:37 here in Greece. Olympiacos have crashed out of the Champions League after a 2-2 draw going into extra time. We are out on penalties. God damn my English background. We're here with you guys. We did send out a tweet initially saying that we wouldn't come out, so that we would take some time to digest and chill out and come back with fresh eyes or with a calmer mind to discuss what's just happened. But due to popular demand, we are here. I am in Chania. I've just come back from the port. I am back at my in-laws. Lambro is in Seattle. He is bedridden, but he's actually been able to get out of bed to join. And our friend Kostas Lianos is also with us. The comment box is on fire right now. I haven't even looked at it. Costa is an old friend of ours. He's been with us he's been a good friend of the podcast for a very long time. He writes for The Sun in the UK. Costa, thanks very much for joining us. Guys.
How do you even start an episode like this? I'm sorry.
I think I did pretty okay.
I think you did fine. Costa, as the guest, do you want to start us off?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the invite. I believe we talked about this before going on air, that we kind of expected that. The signs were there. The timing of these matches that they're taking place, I feel like this is the sort of summer that if we had a healthy Greek FA would be able to ponder and discuss, because this has been disastrous for every Greek team involved. And if we keep going like this, then it might not be too far away to see the Greek champions playing qualifiers for the conference. And I do believe what happened tonight makes sense. And I'm going to say something that's probably going to annoy a lot of people tonight. But we still saw some good signs. So how do you guys want to do this?
We just
analyze the whole thing? We did see some good signs, and I'll tell you which ones.
Okay, just start off with the positive, and then I'll go all negative. How about that?
Oh, is that how we're going to do this? We could have ended it on a good note.
But do you know what? I'm interested, and I'm very curious to hear what you take as positive out of this, Costa. But like I said on the preview that this would be a very, very, very difficult game. I had a feeling that, especially if we went behind in the game, it would be difficult to come back. We went ahead. We came out in the second half. A mistake from Semedo, own goal, then a penalty given away by Androutos. We were worried about him playing in a back four. The big question marks for me over, why are we playing with Androutos at right back? I think he can do the job when you're playing against Greek opposition in the league where we're attacking. Ludogorets are a good team, and we do have to say congratulations to them. I think in the end they deserve to go through. Careless. We were just careless and sloppy. It's the same kind of mistakes that punish us in the Champions League, the same kind of mistakes that we make year after year. Usain Ubar getting two silly yellows. He didn't learn from his mistake against Arsenal. He's getting sent off again. He's left us with 10 men for 45 minutes, 50 minutes, I can't remember how long. It's just, and there are excuses. There are excuses that the team had a COVID outbreak, players have been injured. It's just, it all added up. The team wasn't fit. You just saw the team didn't have the legs. We didn't have the legs. Even Madi Camara, he was dead. He was dead after 90 minutes. So, I mean, that's pretty much my summary of the game. I thought until we went down to 10 men, I think we held it together. I think we were the better side in the first half. Actually, the goal, it was a lovely goal that put us ahead, but then just the sloppy mistakes, equalised, going down, and then after 10 men, it was very, very difficult. So that's pretty much my summary of the game. We've got plenty more time to get into things.
I guess I'll just start. Hopefully my voice doesn't go midway through as well. I'm sorry about that, everyone. I would definitely be more fiery if I was healthy, but I will I will take a quick glory lap, because I've said this since, when have I started talking about this, Costa? It's been a while, and none of you have been happy about me complaining, because I don't want to say it again. I'm going to say it again. I was pissed off after we won the championship. I thought the football dropped off, and we lost the cup to PAOK, and it just seems like the team hasn't been the same since we won the championship. The football has been really bad, and it has continued. Pedro Martins today was really poor. I want to say that. And certain players as well were really poor. Thanas Sandroutos was quite bad today, in my opinion. I found myself yelling a bit for Kenny Lala to come on earlier. I don't know, guys. I'm a bit baffled here. Because these players have a lot of talent, but it just seems the mentality isn't there. I think one of you guys just mentioned it, but I was texting my friend, shout out Emmy. He just started watching Olympiacos. He's becoming a Peter 2.0, and he's been watching ever since we became friends. And he just goes to me, and I can read you what he said, because I thought it was really great. He said, and I think he'll be happy with me saying, he said there was no mentality, no want to win. There was just, it seemed like everyone was burned out, old, and just was there for the ride. And I just felt like there was no one sliding in and taking the game. And when we signed Socrates back last January, I thought he would be that, but there was no leader on that pitch tonight, guys. I don't know if you noticed that. When the penalties, I don't know if you remember when the penalties came and the two sides were going, the Bulgarians were really tight. They got together and they were yelling, "We're going to do this." And Olympiacos looked like they had already lost the penalty shootout, guys. There's no leader in this team right now. It's just, I don't know who it is. Matthew Valbuena maybe, but in that moment where someone needed to jump in there and say okay, shit has gone bad, but we need to pick ourselves up. It just seemed like there was no one there, no one diving into tackles. And it was just, I don't know. A lot of people are calling for players to go, players to come. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. Personally, I think right now the talent is there for this team to get past the Ludogorets, to go, but it's gone to shit. I don't know what to say. I just don't think the mentality is there. I think this team has been complacent for too long, and there's no hunger for anything anymore. The ideas also have gone stale with Pedro Martins, I think, and it's a worry. I don't think Pedro Martins should go. People are saying he should go. That seems a bit soon for me, but it does seems like he's run out of ideas, to be honest, guys. But yeah.
Well, I refuse to make predictions for the rest of the season based on what happened in a summer game, whether that was a qualifier, a friendly, or whatnot. Olympiacos are no strangers to horrible eliminations from Europe in the summer, and then going on and doing great things. Remember, Ernesto Valverde's first official game in 2008 was a destruction to Anorthosi, 3-0, and that was a much worse team than what we saw tonight. I said I saw a couple of positive things, and they're only a couple, But back then, I didn't see jack. It was a big fat 0. It was that night where Mitroglou insisted on taking a penalty, even though the bench told him not to. Other than that, I gotta say, it's the transfer business has been a little funny with Olympiacos, because what did Olympiacos do this summer? They signed a midfielder, they signed a striker, and they signed a goalkeeper, which, based on what we've seen the last 4 games, these are 3 positions that Olympiacos weren't desperate for. They signed Tiquinho, who's injured, but Hassan and El Arabi are there. They signed Kunde, but Bouchalakis, Kamara, and Dembélé were there at times. But they were still available. They signed Vatslik, but Zolakis has been playing as the starting goalkeeper. What Olympiacos really needed and still need, and they have no way of covering for it, are fullbacks. There's just nothing from the fullback department. And Martins insists on playing 3-4-3. What is perhaps the one thing you need to make your 3-4-3 successful? Incredible fullbacks. And Olympiacos don't have that. I'm sorry to say this, and maybe you'll disagree with this, but I'm still going to say this. But probably the best fullback Olympiacos have right now is Androutsos. And he's not good yet. He's not good enough yet. But he's the best Olympiacos have so far. There's nothing from the fullbacks. And that was the priority, I think, for Olympiacos. Because as I said, striker, we covered for it. Midfielder, we covered for it. Goalkeeper, we covered for it. If the fullbacks had been already signed, they would have had more momentum on the wings. They would have probably been able to play the 3-4-3. So as I said on my tweet, sign fullbacks, and by God, get your mentality right. Yes, you're in the Europa League, but you know what? We're going to go far. That's what you're going to tell yourself. We're going to go far. We're going to own this thing. And if they screw up with Slovan, which I want to guess they're not going to screw up, my God, you're going to win the conference. You are going to win the goddamn conference. Or you're going to at least come extremely close. Yeah. See what I did there?
That's a really interesting take. Well, there's a lot of people on the chat disagreeing on your point about Androutsos. But I mean, I think what you're trying to say is that just the wing backs are poor. The wing backs are poor to the extent that our best wing back is a player that isn't a wing back. And I don't think he's the best wing back we have, but I don't know if we have any good wing backs, really.
Who's your favorite?
I don't have one. I don't have a favorite wing back. I don't like any of them.
How long are we going to wait for Kenny Lala to be... Everyone's like, give Kenny Lala time. I'm going to be dead by the time Kenny Lala has time to get into the team. God damn it. Like, I am so done with waiting for Kenny Lala, guys.
So
I don't know.
I want to address this point.
Okay, go ahead. But
Kostas says Reabchuk had a good game today. His pace was good, never stopped running. Look, defensively, in transition, I think Oleg's a decent player, but by God, what Kostas was saying earlier, if you play a 3-4-3 formation, you need your wing backs to be able to deliver. He had 0 for 7 crosses in the last game in the first leg. And today it was nothing. Again, he didn't hit any Olympiacos players with any crosses. And any time he gets the ball on the left-hand side and he's got space in front of him, despite his pace, you see that he's afraid to look forward and try and take the man on and cross the ball in. And it's a nightmare when you compare to Tsimikas. It's an absolute nightmare. And that's the problem. We're always going to have that to compare. Tsimikas and Oleg. It's a big problem. Now, this is my biggest worry after the game today, is that what's going to happen to the wage budget? Because I'm worried that tomorrow an offer comes in for Mady Camara under 20 million, 12, 13, whatever, he's gone.
And that's what Olympiacos really missed out on today. They missed out on a very hefty kitty, a lot of money. As you said, this is going to be extremely crucial right now. Players that could leave, Camara, Semedo, Ba, Cisse, those are the kind of players you could see getting some good offers, or at least decent offers coming through. But let's not forget that the transfer window has been severely hit by the coronavirus pandemic. It's seriously no laughing matter, and we're seeing this a lot in the Premier League right now, where you see clubs that cannot sign their targets. They cannot even come close. In Spain, let's not even talk about what's going on over there. But if Olympiacos managed to hold on to at least most of those players that could leave, then this could turn around. I mean, I mentioned two good things that came out of this. First off was obvious. Zolakis. Zolakis is not even 19 years old. And he has been more than just decent for Olympiacos. He has shown very good signs. He did some really good saves during all four of the matches, some crucial saves. He reminds me a bit of Dimitris Eleftheropoulos in the way that he started. Hopefully he's going to follow a lot of his progress. Hopefully not the same injuries. Hopefully not the same ending as Dimitris Eleftheropoulos. And one thing he shares with Adonis Nikopolidis, and it's only one so far, only one, is that he is confident between the posts to the point that he doesn't shout at his defenders. No matter what, he's not going to shout at them. He's not going to yell at them. He keeps it together, and that's very important because that helps the defenders keep their cool under pressure, especially when they got a kid between this post. If they see that he's calm, then they know that they don't have to work extra to keep him chilled between the posts. And the other thing I got to say that I really like, I didn't really like, but I think it shows some signs, that I think it shows some good signs, is the fact that Olympiacos held it together while they were down by 10 men. Even though they're ill-prepared, they were playing against a team that was much more prepared, playing a lot more official games, and they didn't concede, they didn't crumble. Remember, if the away goals were still here, Olympiacos would be through. I don't understand why the away goals are gone, but Olympiacos held it together, even though they were down by 10 men against a much more prepared team in their own home ground, which was loud as hell. They kept it together. Those are my two positive takeaways from this, and that's why I don't dare make any predictions for the season.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I think there's going to be a lot of outs, and I think we're not going to get great money for them now as well. Why would Mari Kamaras stay here? It's a major step back to play Europa League football at his level if you're not playing for a team in a top 5 league. If I was him and his agent, Mino Raiola, I would be asking for the exit door after tonight. So I think by the end of the window, Mari Kamara is probably gone. And, you know, it's disappointing. I think a player like Ba got sent off in such a big game against Arsenal, and he didn't learn about it. He didn't learn about it, and he did it again. And that is very disappointing. And there's just a massive amount of complacency within this team as well. Ruben Semedo, Ba, Cisse, it just seems like these players just haven't improved. You know, they've been at the same level and they've been going down almost. And I don't know what the reason is for that. But again, the biggest problem is, Costa, I'm surprised you haven't said this. You kind of brought a comment up that said it. How many times has Kostas Fortounis bailed out Olympiacos in Greece, in Europe? Without Kostas Fortounis, well, what are you going to do? This is one of the big points, and a lot of people have brought it up in the comments. I'm sorry, guys, like the comments are coming in so fast that we just can't keep up. Yeah.
There's a lot of comments about the midfield, the lack of creativity, and it's true. For me, it's been one of the major issues, I think, this preseason that we've seen. When we lost Kostas Fortounis, we don't have another creative option to come off the bench. I mean, Valbuena came off the bench today. You can't, we've said it so many times, you can't expect from a 36 going 37-year-old player, no matter how good he is, to just turn it on and off like that and change the game. Back to back, he's literally played back to back in every single game this season. We don't have a creative option in the midfield. Our wingers are young, inexperienced in some cases, not good enough. Our best winger is Yorgos Masouras.
Our wingers suck, man. Just leave it. Just say it. Like, our wingers are tragic. Masouras has been good. I agree completely on that. But our wingers suck, man. How long are we gonna wait for Vrusai? How long are we gonna wait for Rangelovic before this team grows a pair and tells them to fuck off on loan and figure it out in another country because they're wasting our time? That is my problem. How many times have we said it? Oh, Vrusai looked decent for 15, 20 minutes. Oh, Lazar scored a goal. Nah, like, this is just a waste of time. They can fuck off for all I care. They just haven't done anything in a year. I don't know what else to say. We shouldn't be relying on Fortunis and Valbuena if you have competent wing play. These guys have shown that they can't do it. Vrusai, a little bit unfortunate, but he can go on loan. He hasn't done it, guys. He hasn't done it. And I know we want him to. It's a little unfair to him right now. I'm sorry, but we've been too kind, I think, with some of these players. Now the roster is bloated. Some of these players need to go and get a loan and figure out what the hell is going on. I'm getting really tired of it, waiting for them to do something.
Did anybody watch the Martins press conference? I haven't heard or seen anything. I'm very curious to hear if anybody watched the press conference. Did anybody listen to player comments after the game? I haven't had a chance. But honestly, guys, like, again, on this point, we just do not have a game changer. We do not have a player in the midfield that can get the ball in the middle of the park and run at people and create problems like Fortunis did. And I really, really worry. I really, really worry about this point that going out of the Champions League is going to have a massive impact on our wage bill. It means that we're not. I said it. I think I said it on the last podcast, on one of the last podcasts. This team has one of the highest wage budgets in Olympiacos history. How many players do we have on above €1 million a year contract? El Arabi, Mvila, Camara, Tiquinho, Fortunis, Onyekuru,
Batchlick as well, huh?
Semedo. Everywhere you look across the team, you've got players on high wages. You've never seen this before. And there was talk before the game that if we qualify for the playoffs, we would sign a good left back and we would sign a good winger that can play at the 10 as well. So what does that mean now? Does that mean that now that we're out of the Champions League, we're not going to sign players and we're going to sell everybody? I'm exaggerating, but that's my biggest worry. That's my biggest worry about today's defeat and what happens tomorrow. I don't know. Tomorrow we're probably going to see headlines that now we're going to go and win the Europa League, and the administration.
I think it's going to be the exact opposite. If I may, it's going to be the exact opposite for the first 2 days. Then it's going to start and become a little more positive. But I think it's very important that we tell the viewers that it is very early into the season. And if there's a lesson for Greek football here, is that we need, as a unit, I'm not talking Olympiacos, we need as a unit to find a way to combat this problem. We need, maybe, does that mean we have to start playing in July? Probably not because of the weather. But Vasilis Abrakos made a nice suggestion. Something that could perhaps help is if there was a tournament between the teams that have qualified for Europe, where they win something. Maybe you can call it the League Cup. Greece used to have a League Cup. So take the teams that have qualified for Europe, have them play 2 semifinals against each other, and then a final or a third place playoff. And this way you got 3 big matches under your belt, plus the friendlies. Greek football needs to find a solution about this because it's not funny. As I said, if we keep this up, we're going to be sending our champion to the conference to the conference first qualifier. Something needs to happen here, but it's really early still. I refuse to make predictions. We've still to see Vatslik, we've still to see Onyekuru, we've still to see Tiquinho, we've still to see Kounde at his best. It's a really difficult night for Olympiacos. Olympiacos is definitely the difficult European nights. I mean, I think we're all old enough to remember some other. So, yeah, difficult night, but let's not fall into very quick conclusions for the rest of the season.
For sure. But the one point is just I'm seeing comments about Pedro Martins out. I think that's the wrong decision at this
That's
point.
ridiculous. That is who's
exactly.
If Pedro Martins leaves, who's going to come?
Yeah.
Who's going to come?
Takis Lemonis.
No, it's not going to be Takis. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be?
Valverde. Anyway, there's no way Martins leaves tonight, guys. And
can I just say?
Yeah, go.
It was a fault of Martins. He should use Vachlik instead of Zoulakis at penalties. One of the comments that's come in. Guys, Zoulakis went the right way on the first two penalties.
They were perfect penalties.
And they were both side netting. I'm sorry, but with all due respect, anybody that's talking shit about Zoulakis tonight, go and get yourself a drink, mate, and then come back. Because I've got my Tikulia here. I'm gonna pour a shot of Tikulia for you. Just take a chill pill. Zoulakis is 18 years old. Yeah. He's been incredible throughout this campaign. He saved 3 goals in the last game. He saved us a couple of times today as well, by the way. Zoulakis is a big chapter for this club. I don't know what the hell's going on with Vachlik. We've talked about this before, and I'm not going to go into it. I don't know if he's got croc knees, his waist has problems. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know what the hell's going on with Vachlik.
Who knows?
And I'm going to change the conversation. I don't want to talk about it. But
we don't need to talk about Vachlik. He's going to turn into a club legend. Don't worry about that, everyone.
Let's not underestimate the fact that a team that was ill-prepared played against a much more prepared team with 10 players for almost 40 minutes and didn't concede a goal. Any other team, many other teams would have conceded at least 1 goal. And they were on the defensive. That's not something to just completely brush away. I know this is a really difficult night. It hasn't been easy for anyone. But everything needs to be taken into account with some patience.
Yeah, I agree. God, it's just it's I don't know. It's a tough night to analyze because it's so disappointing. We're all upset, but what are the answers? We just lost out on a ton of money. We need two new fullbacks, maybe more. Some of our best players may get sold, and it's like, what do we say? And we're judging after like 4 games. It's super, just, I don't know. It's so difficult with these qualifier games. I don't know. I don't know. And I think the people who are yelling for Pedro Martins to go out, like, I think that's a bit harsh, but I have lost confidence in him at this point. After the cup final, after the tactics that we've gone through this far, I don't know. I've definitely, I think he's lost something. Like, he's just so stubborn with this 3-4-3 and with the system he wants to play. One of the best parts of Pedro Martins, and he said it in interviews, is I don't have a favorite formation. I like to play whatever works. Well, like, man, the 3-4-3 is not working so far. Why? When he... What was it? He changed to the 3-4-3. When did he do that? He took Bouchalakis off, I think, and it was just like, what are you thinking? What are you thinking?
He was dead though.
Bouchalakis was dead, but like Koundé is right there on the bench, huh?
I mean, look, I play devil's advocate a little bit here, but if it was 1-1 when he made the change. Yeah, so Bouchalakis is off. He's coming back from a 3-4 week absence. You know he's not going to make the game. Martins is also known to change formations at least maybe 3 or 4 times during a game. So you think, okay, what's he doing now? He's putting 3 at the back. He's trying to shore up the defense a little bit, wait for a good counter attack, try and get a goal, and then the penalty happens, and then that tactical and strategic approach is completely out the window. So within 5 minutes of the change of formation and the substitution, it's done. I think there's a lot we can say about Martins tonight. I was disappointed not to see Onyekuru come on. I wasn't expecting him to come on during the game in the 90 minutes, but by God, did we need a player like him to come on in extra time, because there was absolutely nothing going forward. And I agree with Costa when he says that we didn't concede a goal and we were playing for more than 30, 40, 50 minutes with 10 men. But it's like when Greece played Czech Republic, we weren't playing with 10 men in extra time, but we knew if that game goes to penalties, we're going to lose. So you've got to do something. But we had nothing. We had nothing going forward. And why can't you just stidrella, like you say in Greek, put this player on who you've paid 5 million for, put him on and let him run in space and run at people with his pace. It's an unknown factor for the other coach. They haven't prepared for him. They don't know what to expect. I mean, I don't understand.
You put Hassan on just to take a penalty like that, man. I don't know if Hassan has a path back at this team. Like the fans, I know he's given us some amazing goals, but he's really on a short leash, Hassan, if I can say that. I don't know.
What's really important, though, is that El Arabi got his first goal of the season, and El Arabi is a momentum player. And he's a player that needs to score, and he needs to score fast to get you on that goal-scoring path. Extremely important that he got a goal. If I may, like, it's important now that Olympiacos regroup as quickly as possible, and they don't just eliminate Slovan Bratislava, but they do it decisively. If they do this decisively, just like they did in the last two years with all their opponents in the qualifiers, that is going to restore confidence, morale, maybe a couple of really good fullbacks, because, the Europa League is still money. It's not the Champions League, but it's still quite important. And there are players that will say yes to the Europa League, no matter, even though it's not like the Champions League. So just, it happened. Take responsibility. Martins is taking responsibility. We learned an important lesson. We must react. That was the headline of his post-match interview. Destroy Slovan. Go over there and spank them. That's your job now. And get two fullbacks. Get two good fullbacks.
Yeah.
Where are we going to get the money from?
Yeah, where are we going to find these points?
I mean, when it comes to the budget of Olympiacos, I cannot answer. I cannot say much about the budget of Olympiacos, but there's still some good scouts in there. There's still Francois Modesto who's playing with both Nottingham Forest and Olympiacos on that part. He's done really well in turn, especially from the African continent. But as I said, we cannot predict the season based on what happened tonight.
Yeah.
Again, I worry that Maddie's gone.
Probably.
Maddie's gone in the next couple of days, and then
that's why you got Kunde, though.
Yeah, but it's not.
It's quite shit.
No, but like the thing is, I can see that he could come good, but I just don't see the creativity. I see the energy, I see the pace, I see the strength. He's got some vision, but it's not. Maddie's the most creative midfielder we have right now. At that position, he can spray the balls out wide. He can take a shot from distance. He can, penetrate. Was the Koundé signing a Madi Camara replacement signing early on? I don't know. I can't see us going far without this winger that can play the 10 position, which they were saying that we're going to bring that player in if we qualify for the playoffs, if we go to the group stages. We absolutely, we said we need wing backs on both sides, but we need that creative midfielder as well. Without Fortunis, how long is Valbuena going to last before he gets injured? How long?
Not long.
How long is it going to take?
Not long.
And then, you've got Aguibu Camara, who didn't play today. Looks a decent pickup, a really, really good prospect. But he's very raw. I'm sorry, I keep going back to the same thing. So the next day and who the signings are going to be and where we're going to find the money.
I'm going to reassure everyone, his name has been in the papers, linked, unfortunately, to Panathinaikos, Marco Marin, a return to Don't worry, everyone, we're safe. No, I'm not going to torture you all. Yeah, we need a creative player desperately because Henry Onyekuru, who knows what he's going to be. We just spent 5 million euros on Henry Onyekuru. Oh my God. Anyway, and God, Kostas Fortounis, man, like just God repair his knee and he comes back. I don't know. Because I don't know where goals come from because the wingers are tragic, the midfielders are more defensive, and the wingbacks are incompetent. So I just anyway, the more we talk about it, the happier I get. Anyway, yeah. So disappointing. I don't know what else to say. And again, I don't know.
This is a fair question. Now, I'm a big Vrusai fan. I like him because he can run at people. He's got good dribbling ability, pace, strength. But he's the type of player that he plays one game and then he sits out 4 and then plays again. And he just doesn't get into rhythm. And Agibu Kamara's coming off a decisive goal in the first leg and he doesn't even get a substitution cameo. I don't know. Last season I said whenever we did player ratings and coach ratings, I said whenever we talk about Martins, I would never give him a coach grade because it was always an 8. But the last couple of games I've had some question marks over his decisions. Definitely,
Pedro Martins definitely has a responsibility in this, and as I said, playing 3-4-3 without 2 quality wingbacks it's not going to work at all. That mania he has with a 3-4-3, it's just not going to work out. You need the fullbacks.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it's early for Onyekuru though. It is early for Onyekuru. I understand what you're saying, Costa. Playing, just going for everything. But the thing is that with the 2-2 score, Olympiacos were still in this. So I guess that's why he didn't want to take the risk because, we're not in practice. We're not in training to see what's going on. If we were there and we saw Henry Onyekuru, maybe we would know why he didn't play at all in this match. And maybe his presence on the bench was just psychological, just a mind game, just like it was with Seitaridis and Manchester United back in 2001 with Panathinaikos, where Sir Alex Ferguson was asking, who the hell is Jurkas? But we don't know how Onyekuru is adapting to the team. It's very early days for him. And if he had gone in and he had a mare of a game, that would have been even worse for him, even though I could have easily explained it, why he was so bad on the pitch.
I still think, Costa, that, like I said, I think for him to come on during the 90, it would never happen. But he had nothing to lose. To put him on in extra time when we were just sitting back and we had no option to attack. Literally, there was nothing. There was nothing in extra time. It was just sit back, hope. That was the strategy. There was no option to get the ball forward, to look dangerous. And when you do that, the result's inevitable. You're either going to eat it and lose in extra time or go to penalties and lose. Because can you imagine how heavy the legs of our players were going up to hit the penalties? They've just been chasing the ball for an extra 30 minutes. And every time we get possession, we lose it within 1 or 2 passes. We were just delaying the inevitable. We were expecting tonight Kostas Lianos to become a hero. But
that was a far cry there. You can't expect an 18-year-old to get you a get out of jail free card at this time.
No,
it was a game Martins got it wrong. Martins got this one wrong. But as I said, long season ahead.
I do agree with like your sense of optimism, and it's difficult to.
It's not optimism; it's logic. It's
but it's difficult to have that perspective tonight when the expectation is that at least you get to the playoffs and you give it a good go. And again, I say we've had problems and And Martins has said that he's had the most difficult 72 hours of his coaching career to deal with in the previous ties with COVID, the injuries, etc., etc., etc. But you just hope that with Tiquinho coming back in September and hopefully a couple of signings that we can make something of this season. It's just very difficult to do that tonight. And I understand all the frustration. And Fetanos is saying my whole year is ruined.
Well,
chill out,
I mean,
chill out, Fetanos.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but 2021 and 2020 haven't exactly been stellar for anyone. But unless he means his season is ruined, then it's different. But when it comes to Olympiacos, you made a good point. Who are Olympiacos going to sign? Well, very good point. But how many players has Olympiacos signed throughout the years for absolutely nothing and sold them for all of King Midas's gold? For Greek standards, obviously. I mean it. Papapoussise, Usain Uba, Mati Camara, Daniel Podense. Kostas Tsimikas wasn't signed, but he came out of Olympiakos' academies. But Olympiacos are no strangers to buying cheap and selling expensively, and for a good reason. So I understand the worry there. I completely understand it. But as I said, the Europa League as well is not something completely. It's not exactly nothing.
I want to bring up this point because I've been seeing it come up over and over. I think it's the same person. Jose Sa has been carrying the team on his back for 2.5 years. The worst is yet to come. Well, statistically, that is true. Jose Sa was an incredible keeper. Statistically, there's a video by Themis Keseris on Sport 24 where you can watch. And yes, Thomas Vaclik, star of the Euros. When will he play? I don't know. But one thing I want to point out, maybe Jose Sa being the Portuguese leader, being friends with Semedo, I don't know, was helpful in that department in communicating and organizing the backline as well. I can't tell you. Jose Sa was also here when that defense got turned around multiple times in the cup final. I don't know. So I don't know. I don't know what the situation will be at goalkeeper. I just don't think tonight was down on the goalkeeper at all. I think there's much bigger problems to play at this football club. I know Jose Sa was an amazing goalkeeper. I loved him. I never turned my back on Sa, and I brought this up all the time on the podcast. But at the moment, I don't think the finger should be pointed at the goalkeeper position. I think this team has some desperate areas, and I don't know where the hell they're going to find the money to fill those positions. To be honest with you, I'm really pissed off at Pedro Martins tonight for his treatment of Leonardo Koutris as well. I'm going to go back to that, who was a fantastic left-sided fullback and got mistreated completely by Olympiacos. And he's never going to come back because he was treated like a criminal by this club and by Pedro Martins, ostracized and kicked out of the team. I don't know what the hell happened in the dressing room, but that's a Martins decision. Yanni Masouras, I know he played in Poland, but supposedly he played decent. He couldn't even get a look at preseason. I find that hard to believe as well, everyone. There's been management decisions that I haven't agreed with at Olympiacos, and I just don't... Yeah, I don't think that there was reason to bring them up because things have worked out so far. But Leonardo Koutris, I was a big fan of, and I was really disappointed when he was sent away. Same with Masouras, the other little Masouras, I should say.
Yeah, but to be fair with Koutris, if I may, he was really good for Olympiacos. He was one of the best players Olympiacos had in that horrendous season where they finished third, and thank God there were no playoffs, or else they would have finished sixth or fifth or whatever it is they have right now. But he did have 2 very serious injuries, and that was basically the mentality of the idea of sending him out on loan so that he could find his old self, regain full fitness, and come back, because Olympiacos couldn't cater to him at this time when he was severely injured. So yeah, it's the injuries that basically played the big role for him to be loaned out, and he wanted to. He was very on board with that.
I just want to take a small opportunity to do some shameless promotion, because there's nothing like misery to bring people together, and we have a lot of people listening live, a lot of new listeners, and I do want to say, guys, it's a difficult night for the club tonight. We are here to talk, to listen, to get you engaged in the conversation. Please do subscribe to our channel for more content. Thank you for joining us today. Going to keep it going. Just wanted to say that. Thank you. Let's keep going.
Also, I think one thing we have to mention is Ludogorets as well. Ludogorets, again, I've seen quite a few Bulgarians are watching along. To be honest, I thought they were poor in the first half. I thought we were going to walk them, to be honest. But Pedro Martins also said this in his post game, that we came out very poorly in the second half and they became strong. They showed a lot of heart. Kirill Despodov is a very good player, a fantastic footballer, and he has all the talent that all our wingers wish they had. And to be honest as well, their fullbacks were quite good. It almost reminded me, Anderutos was going up against one of those wingbacks, and it was almost reminded me of the cup final with him going against Baba. You know, there was just nothing going down there, and he had no move to get past them. I thought their fullbacks were quite good. The striker Sotiriou, I think, is solid. He has good running, but I didn't think he was a magical player. I think that's known, but
we have to give credit to them, man. Like they were a well-drilled, they're a well-drilled team. I think that their coach as well. There was something about him. Like there was just a feeling in that team. They had confidence, and I think they were well prepared and well drilled for the game. They got, things went in their favor, and I think in the end they're deserving to go through. So I think, credit where credit's due to them.
For sure.
But I think it's going to be very interesting to see how many penalty shootouts are going to be in the Europa League, the Champions League, and the conference without the away goal. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how many.
I want to say, can I make a real quick comment about that? I really don't like this with the away goal being out, because I almost feel like the home team in the second leg has it all to play for. Like you go home to your fans and it's just like, screw it, we can do it, any result. And there's no, like the away team is just like, even if we score a goal, it doesn't do much. I really do not like this. I hope it reverts back to the old way, because when you're on the road, it's like, shit, we're in it tough. But like if we nick a goal, we're in good. You know what I mean? And tonight it was just like, it's just things don't go your way in the second leg and you're away. And it's just like you have a mountain to climb. I really don't like it. I really don't like it.
What's the point of the first leg?
Yeah, there is no
unless
point.
You win 3-0 or decisively. What's the point? But do you guys think the game would be different if the away goals were still in effect? Because Ludogorets had the advantage then.
I tweeted about this earlier, and I said that after the first game, we were feeling good coming out of the game and saying, "Oh, there's no away goals. It's 0-0 going into the second leg." Yeah. But now you're cursing it. So you can't.
It's not even the thing. Like I wasn't. I just noticed this. Like I was also just watching other games, and it's just like if the team second leg at home basically has all the benefits, even if they like you go on the road the first leg and you just want to win 0-0, boom, you're through, or you keep it respectable. Even if you lose like 2-0 now, like you go at home, you pack your crowd and you go for it. Like it just seems fine to me. I don't know. I really didn't have a solid opinion about the away goals rule. I don't know how this affects elite competition, but like just from our perspective, or just from my perspective watching European football, it just like seems a bit like if we had gone through, we would have been second leg at home. And I was thinking, well, that's it. Like second leg at home, I don't see us going out in Karaiskaki. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, anyway,
somebody just commented on that. Imagine if we played this game in a full Karaiskaki.
Yeah, I doubt we go out, especially. I don't know. This isn't about us, really, guys. Like, I'm not going to blame away goals for the reason we went out. Like, but it's just a general comment from what I've been watching.
I got a question. What do you guys think about the fact that Olympiacos are playing all of their qualifiers with the Karaiskaki game first?
Well,
Yeah,
that's funny.
The first one.
That's funny because if we went through to the playoffs, we would have played the second leg at Karaiskaki.
but now it's first leg with Bratislava again.
That's
So
the first leg. Yeah, again.
But
I
normally,
really don't get the away goal. Sorry.
normally the last few years we've played better away from home.
We did.
still,
But still,
that's
without
what the
the
away
away
goal
goals rules. Yeah, that without the away goals rules, the Arsenal game would have gone to penalties, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
I
But I mean, there's been some people on the chat. They're saying that the elimination of the away goal is for the bigger teams not to lose against the quote unquote smaller sides like us, so that Arsenal Olympiacos doesn't happen.
I just hate club football going to penalties. It just doesn't feel right either, to be honest with you guys. Like seeing Olympiacos in a friendly just made me feel like what the hell? This just doesn't feel right. This is the first time in European competition Olympiacos has gone to a penalty shootout is what I read as well. But anyway, it's getting away from the point. I want to say this team has problems. It has big holes, and like overall, I'm worried. I'm worried about this team. I've been openly saying that for a long time. A lot of you listeners know that, and I fear where this team is going. There's going to be needed to be smart moves, and I imagine the chairman may be stepping in and making a comment to some of the players as well. I don't want to speculate on that, but it has happened in the past when nights have gone bad. So we're going to have to wait and see. This Bratislava game is massive now. It is massive.
Yeah.
If Olympiacos goes out to Bratislava, I think Pedro Martins is done at Olympiacos. I'm going to be really honest. Like I don't you think go so. Out. I think so. I think after you spend 5 million euros for Henry Onyekuru, you're going to play in the Conference League. You're paying Vaclik 1.5 million euros. I don't think so. So I think heads will roll. Heads should roll tonight, to be honest with you. The incompetence in the preseason this season by Olympiacos was shocking.
I'm sorry, but can somebody walk me through that Hassan penalty? And I have a question.
Okay,
Can somebody tell me which foot of Hassan is better, or less bad? Because I
he's
swear
left-footed, right?
I swear he's left-footed, and he's going for the run-up for the penalty, and I'm looking at him like, what's he doing? Isn't he left-footed? Why is he taking it with his right foot? What the fuck is going on? Can somebody please explain that to me? Yeah, Valbuena's penalty. Fucking hell, mate.
And he was the one
It's one of those Roberto Baggio ones that you just don't understand what the hell he was actually thinking. Go, Labro. Sorry, I interrupted.
No. Valbuena was the... Actually, you know what? Who I had the most confidence in making a penalty? This is going to sound weird. Kenny Lala. I actually had the most confidence in taking a penalty. And because he took all the set pieces in Strasbourg. He took the penalties. He took the free kicks. He took the corners, I think, as well. So, Fetano says here, I think this is true as well. Lala has never missed a penalty in his career. He's quite good. So, anyway, it was lost before that. Like there was no. Anyway, Hassan is right-footed. Yeah, I don't know about that, guys. He's neither.
There was a lack of passion. There was a lack.
Can we talk about this real quick? The lack of passion. Like there was just. It's just like they were walking through it. Guys.
They didn't have the legs.
No, but I mean throughout
they were
the game,
dead. They were dead. No, but okay. Can we agree on one thing?
Go ahead.
The game plan until the second half was going according to plan. The game plan was going according to plan
until the second half. Yeah.
Until the second half.
What the hell happened in that locker room, though? What happened in that second half? Like
until halftime, you mean?
Halftime.
Yeah.
The game plan was going perfect.
Yeah.
The game plan was going perfect. But then you saw it's the lack of fitness, the lack of matches, the players coming back from injury, the players coming back from COVID. Bukhalakis going off. He hasn't played for 3-4 weeks. Valbuena having played too many games on back-to-back, it didn't give anything today, Valbuena. He didn't give anything. And that fucking own goal is the own goal. And then the match has just done a complete U-turn. It's flipped on its head. And then we're back in it with the penalty 2-2 and then the red card, and then it's over. The players were dead. That's the one kind of el afrindico that I give to Martins tonight, is that he's had a very, very difficult situation to deal with in the squad the last couple of weeks. And we're coming close to an hour podcast, guys. The participation tonight has been fantastic. Retention as well. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Sorry we can't keep up with the comments. We've addressed a lot of the points that have come up, but I do want to just bring back what Kostas said. It's a very difficult night. It's difficult to digest it, difficult to swallow. But next week we play Slovan. So we play Slovan now in the Europa League. We have to
the 19th.
destroy
it's
them.
The 19th that
we have
Olympiacos
to,
are playing Slovan. Yeah, so it's next
we
week.
have to. We will accept nothing less than destruction. If we go out and destroy them, for me, I'm ready to move on.
I am as
I
well.
I was already ready for preparing myself for disappointment tonight. It's one thing to prepare for it, and it's one thing to live it. But next week, over the next two legs in the Europa League playoffs, let's get into the group stages. 2 good games. No excuses. There are no excuses anymore. I've been the most liberal one out of the 4 of us.
You have indeed.
I have been the most patient. I've been the most patient of all of us. No excuses. Against Slovan Liberec, there are no fucking excuses. We get through to the Europa League. We're a top-seeded team. We're getting drawn out of the first pot. I want qualification to the group stages and a deep run in the Europa League in the knockout phases. Nothing more, nothing less.
I agree completely. And yeah, I don't know. This team's gonna rebound. And Costa, will you be in the stadium? Actually, it's next Thursday. Will you be around?
No, man, my wife's not going to let me do that. 2 kids running
Fair
around
enough. Fair enough. But anyway, I think I'm gonna close up on this, everyone. Tonight is really disappointing. There are big question marks with this club. Some of us who've been asking these questions for a few months now are kind of sitting here and saying, well, we've been seeing them. But I don't want to gloat or like say blah, blah, blah. Like I've been negative this whole time and I'm happy that we're negative. I'm not happy, everyone. I seem a little monotone because I'm quite sick. I'm happy to be on here with everyone. But yeah, I'm under the weather. But
Labrador might have COVID.
Who knows?
Saying, guys. That's
I came on. I'm committed to the cause. I'm committed. This is true. I didn't know if I can admit it. But anyway, so we pushed through and we're gonna rally for next week, everyone. Like just have some belief. Tonight is difficult. Honestly, I was thinking this. It wouldn't be a bad idea, if someone could lift it up to him and he could head it, it'd be a better result than with his feet. But anyway, we're gonna stay faithful. We're gonna analyze this. Adi is gonna come through with all of the statistics on Twitter, and he's gonna tell you why it was even worse than we're explaining now. And we're gonna figure it out. Pedro Martins is gonna wake up. The whole club is gonna wake up, and we're gonna go through, and we're gonna win everything. Anyway, that's it. That's what I hope. Costa, any last thoughts? Costa, the guest, I should say, since we have 2 tonight.
Well, guys, morale booster with Slovan. Let's see how it goes.
All right. Well, with that, we've reached an hour, guys. We could keep you company all night. It is coming close to 2 o'clock in the morning here in Greece, and I have a paper to write due tomorrow. Labra, I don't know what time it is in Seattle over there. But look, thanks very much for joining us, guys. We'll be back, as Labra mentioned. I think Ari's gonna bring some stats. Some people are already asking, when is the next podcast? Keep it locked on the social media channels. If you haven't done it already, follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, Facebook at Gate7 International, Gate7 INTL. Subscribe on YouTube. Keep it locked. Wait for the next episode. We will be back very soon. If you've made it this far, thank you very much for joining us. Stay safe and get some rest. Try not to be too depressed. Labro, I don't know if you have any
guys. Don't be too depressed. I'm usually the guy who rants and yells, guys, it's disappointing night, but this could be the start of something good. This could wake everyone up at the club. This could wake people up on the team, and this could produce something beautiful. It could not. It very well could not, but I'm going to take the positive angle for all of you guys, because I assume a lot of you are quite depressed out there as we are. So we're going to take the positive angle here, and let's hope this is the start of something beautiful. A negative into a beautiful. Let's say that.
That's a good way to end. All right. Galnichta Yahara Magis.
You just listened to an episode of the Gate7 International Podcast, a podcast connecting Olympiacos fans from Brussels to Tokyo, from Toronto to Geneva. We are 4 Olympiacos fans from every corner of the world, bringing you news and interviews of the team you love in English. With new episodes twice a week, you will never miss out on the latest updates and stories of the team you love. If you liked what you heard, make sure to follow us on social media at Gate7INTL. Give us a subscribe on YouTube, or even leave a review on all our podcast channels. Until next time, this is our team, our city and our story. Θρύλος είσαι. Στο μυαλό κάτι μαγικό.